Hi, my name is Christian Kuhn and I'm the Manager of Member Education at ESSSuper. I'm joined today by Michelle Guinan, our Stakeholder Relationship Manager. Hi Michelle.
Hi Christian.
Our goal in this video is to shed light on the disability benefits available through the Emergency Services Defined Benefit Fund. We want our members to understand the process and have a clear idea what to expect if they ever need to engage this service. We're very fortunate to have two emergency services members who have been through the disability process, and we're really thankful they've joined us for this video. Michelle will be conducting our interview today.
We're really appreciative of the opportunity to get their thoughts and insights regarding applying for a disability benefit with ESSSuper.
Before we begin the interview, I'd like to provide some detail about the disability benefits themselves. A disability benefit is payable if a member retires on the grounds of disability following an approval process approved by our board. A disability benefit will be payable to qualifying members suffering from a disability. A disability pension will be paid to operational members aged under 55 years or non-operational members under age 60. Disability benefits can be paid on either a temporary or permanent basis as determined by the ESSSuper board, depending on the member's disability. The permanent benefit is payable from the first day after the member retires on the grounds of disability. The annual pension is calculated by dividing the member's death benefit multiple by 12, with the result being expressed as a percentage. This percentage is then multiplied by the member's final average salary to determine the pension payable. The maximum disability pension equates to 70% of the member's final average salary. This benefit is paid as a fortnightly pension. Once you receive the pension, it will be adjusted in June and December each year, according to the increase in the Consumer Price Index. We suggest allowing up to 3 months for the application process, as members will need to undertake assessments with our board-appointed medical specialists, and also allow for the administration of implementing any approved benefits. Members facing hardship should make contact with ESSSuper, as we have some capacity to make hardship payments. Now, it's over to Michelle for our interview.
So today we've got Dave Evans joining us. Thanks very much, Dave. Can you just introduce yourself to the members?
My name's Dave, and I was in the police for 23 years before I was ill health retired, and I'm now on a permanent disability pension. And whilst I had a wonderful career and enjoyed every minute of it, it took its toll on me in the end, and I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I'm able to retire, I guess, early and enjoy the fruits of life without the concern around money. Actually, it was probably, now that I think about it, the police medical officer who encouraged me to make the call. That she was the final encourager, I guess. I just went in, I said, look, I can't do anyone resigning. And her words to me that day were, don't resign, call ESSSS. And so that's what I did.
My name's Paul Turner. I was a leading senior constable. I was in the job for 26 years before I was ill health retired because of PTSD. And I was retired basically on my 26th anniversary of joining the academy, of going into the academy. I had been off work for roughly 2 years, and the PMO basically said to me, well, you haven't had any improvement in your condition, you basically can't come back to work, we're going to recommend that you essentially be ill health retired, which kind of knocked me for six at the time because I never experienced that leave the job except of my own accord when it came time to either resign for some reason or retire. And throughout the whole process, I've been liaising with the Police Association, and I had some very good advice from the association. But during that process, they said, well, you know, you can get the ESSSS pension because you're ill health retired. And they explained to me what that was, because I knew nothing of it. I didn't even know a pension existed. They helped sort of guide me through that process. I was contacted by ESSSS, and someone from ESSSuper also advised me through the process. Told me I needed to just undergo it was basically an assessment with an independent medical examiner on behalf of ESSSuper. I don't know too many other people that had actually gone through the ESSSuper pension path prior to me going through it, and that's what kind of surprised me when the association said, "Oh, well, you know, you can get the pension from ESSSuper."
The really key factor was that lady who supported me. In all seriousness, like, she just was calm and patient. She gave me the information I needed. She was available when I called her or emailed her. She always got back to me. She assured me that the information wasn't just automatically passed on to VicPol, and explained the process of, you know, at some point we will need to contact them because that's part of the way we establish how much your pension will be. But certainly it was confidential. And I guess that was the key. That confidentiality for me was critical because I did want my cake and eat it, basically. I wanted to have the option of getting a pension because I really didn't believe I could get back to work, but I didn't want to jeopardise the possibility of returning to work if I wasn't eligible. I wasn't thinking about it in terms of my well-being. I was thinking about it in terms of survival, financial survival, for myself and my family. I ended up doing the independent medical examiners, and that was, the two medical examiners were terrific. They were really nice. They were really supportive.
That was organised through ESSSuper?
It was, yeah. I did my application with my GP and then submitted that, and then, yeah, the medical examinations were organised. I went along to them, and the two people were terrific. They were really friendly, really relaxed. Certainly didn't feel like I was being interrogated.
I mean, I was assured it's like the independent medical examiner for ESSSuper is different. They don't look at you like the work cover IME does. And I actually found going through the process too, when I spoke to the IME for ESSSuper, it was different, and it was a more relaxed process as well. So going through that, it was a lot easier than going through an IME process with work cover.
At some point, I made the decision to take the risk of ringing ESSSuper and finding out about it, and basically laying my cards on the table, and basically trying to find out what the process was, how much a pension would look, how much it would be for me in my position, given my contributions over the years and all of the other stuff that goes into making that figure come to fruition. But I still was really worried that it would look like I'm shopping around to see where I'm going to get my most money, and, you know, and all the rest of it. But anyway, I took the risk, and I thought, I'm going to do it, and what will be will be. And if it ends up being used against me, then so be it. And I recall the lady who I spoke to, who was just sensational. She was really supportive, really patient, certainly gave me all the information she could. If she didn't know the answer, she was happy to say that, and she would get back to me, and she did get back to me. And I eventually got to a point where I was given an estimate of what I'd probably be eligible for. And
I've spoken with a lot of ex-members, and they experience the same thing. When they have issues in regards to their pension, they turn to ESSSuper and they'll contact ESSSuper. And I know I've done it. I've contacted ESSSuper and I've spoken to someone, and they've been very helpful, and they've said, "Oh yeah, this is what you need to do," and they've been very accommodating. So I'd actually suggest to anyone who's in that sort of position, don't be afraid to just talk to ESSSuper and just maybe get some guidance, because the people there have been very helpful to me. But if anyone is unsure about anything in regards to the pension, I'd advise them just to talk to someone from ESSSuper and just get some clarification on it.
I'd say the first thing I'd really recommend that every member who's considering it to have clear in their mind is that applying for it and being eligible for it has nothing to do with the PMO, Victoria Police, or Gallagher Bassett or work cover. It's a purely independent process that needs to be initiated by the member, and that making the initial call is critical because it allows you to get the information that you need, and also not just the information that you need, but also to dismiss or get rid of the information, the misinformation or the incorrect information that you've been given. And certainly, that information that you're given by other people within the organisation isn't done with any malice, but it's just that understanding. And so to get that clear understanding, to trust ESSSuper, to trust the process, to trust that it's confidential, and to get the information you need, because the decision that you're making is not necessarily one of selfishness. It's more about understanding what your options are so that you can make the best decision for your short and long-term, not only your financial future, but your health and well-being.
What advice would you give members who are considering going down the disability benefit path?
I'd give them some advice now, and that is contribute to your, if you're not already contributing, contribute to your super fund, because one thing I found out was I actually found something out the hard way, and that was pretty much from the very moment I joined. I'd seen the way that the superannuation legislation had changed in my previous occupation, and I decided that I wasn't going to contribute to the super fund. Upon joining Victoria Police, I was going to essentially use that money and use real estate as my super. Well, unfortunately, my PTSD is one of the things that causes a marriage breakdown. And as a result of that, my money's tied up in the marital home, where that's the main asset was. And I mean, there's a lot of money tied up in the marital home. But the problem is now that's divided, and I'm still waiting on the outcome of that. And depending on what I get from that, depends on how much I've got left over, what I'm going to do with that. So when it comes to what I'm left with my super, I've only got the employer contributions, which isn't a lot. Make sure you contribute to super fund, so you've got that nest egg. I never foresaw the marriage breaking down. I never foresaw ill health retirement through PTSD, and these are things that might affect other members, that have affected other members, and I'm sure they'll affect members in the future.
I sort of reflect on my career, and I know that when I first joined and I was in the academy, ESSSuper came out and did a presentation, and so I signed up to the maximum contribution amount, and didn't really think much more of it other than, cool, I'll do that, and it looks like it's a great super scheme. And then for a short period of time, I made the decision to stop contributing and try to pay off my mortgage, which I didn't. I just spent more money. I sort of got to a point where, it was probably when I was getting... I did it at a stage where I suppose I was thinking about my future, and that's why I decided to try and pay the mortgage off. And then I realised not too long after that I wasn't using it effectively, so then I went back and did a top-up. And I was fortunate enough that the time I had off it meant that, because the time I had off wasn't extensive, it meant that I finished at the same, or maxed out at the same time. And through all of that process, what I wasn't thinking about was any injury or disability. I was just thinking about the 30-year super. So I guess now, having been through the experience I've had and being in the position I'm in, what I would say to people who are either already in or certainly recruits, to contribute at the maximum level, not just for the purposes of maxing out your super, but the reality is an injury can occur at any time, whether that be physical or psychological. It's a reality of any job.
So we're really appreciative of Dave and Paul's time today.
I think it was amazing to get their experiences and to be able to share that with the rest of our membership. And one thing we'd like to close with today is to say that if you have any inquiries at all about your emergency services defined benefit fund, including the disability benefits, please give us a call. We can have a one-on-one discussion. It's confidential, and we'll hopefully give you the information you need to make an informed decision. Thanks.